a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. Hi everyone, time for another interview. So I'm excited, but first I want to share these words. Music should not be a tune, it should be a touch. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, I'm going to find out because that's a quote, by the way, from my guest today. Please welcome Ryan Neville. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Hello, and thank you very much. It's really good to be.
And it is Neville, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and then you're in New Zealand?
Absolutely.
That is so cool.
Rain this morning, which is great because it's been so hot here, so it's nice and cool this morning.
Oh, very nice. Okay, well, it's been weird here. You know, we had snow last week. There's still some on the ground, but it probably won't last long, hopefully. So now I want to know, when did you start your musical career?
Well, it's always hard, isn't it, to trace things back, but I think I would have been around 12 or 13 is when I kind of picked up the guitar and started playing. And I think I was quite fortunate, straight out of school, joined my first band. And of course, we had our first show after about 6 months of playing and haven't stopped since. So, yeah, so straight out of school, I think, which would have been 18, 19.
Very good, yeah. Now, what did you mean your words, music should not be a tune, but it should be a touch? What do you mean by that?
Oh, for me, I always think that music is such a feel thing. It's such a time and a place. So it's kind of like putting a stamp on where you are at in your life, where you are actually in the world, that kind of thing. So to me, music has always been a feel. And yeah, it's something that I always think it shouldn't always be about the song. Like we hear people often say, I like this style of music and that's style of music. I think it's, music does all different things, different styles. Some people use it for exercise. So I just think it has, for me, it's a very strong bond with sound and storytelling.
Right, yeah. Now, what type of music do you perform?
I mainly play the blues and have done for quite a few years now, but I always enjoy all styles of music. But just blues to me has such a good story.
And who were your idols growing up?
Oh, that's always hard, isn't it? Trying to think back. I was always a very big Queen fan. Always loved the band Queen, and I loved a lot of like the Led Zeppelin, like most people. But I always was a Jimi Hendrix fan first. I think he was the reason I started playing the electric guitar. Just watching him perform was quite an amazing thing. Yeah. I could go on forever, but Gary Moore, all of those greats. Yeah.
Right. Now you currently have a band, right?
That's correct.
And your band is called, what is that? The Ryan Neville Show Band?
That's correct. So we're actually Ryan Neville and the Midnight Blues Band, or because we perform shows, so we just shorten the name down to Show Band.
Okay. How many people are in your band?
So we're a 5-piece band. So drums, bass, keyboard, and we've got a singer. And of course, I do most of the singing and lead the band.
Do you also write songs?
Yes, and just released number 8, I believe. So album number 8 about 3 days ago.
Oh,
so,
wow. Yes. That's exciting.
It is. It's always nice to release new music, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know you have a song, Paint the Sky Blue. Now, when did that one come out?
So Paint the Sky Blue, that would have been off our first albums. That was many years ago. When I say many, that would have been probably 5 years ago. It feels like many years ago, but 5 years wasn't that long ago. But yes, it was off Fire on the Tracks.
Right, for sure. Now, there was a time, though, you performed solo, right?
Yes, that's true. It's so much nicer to perform with a band, of course, more fun, more band members at a great stage show. But yes, I did perform for quite a few years on my own, and which is also great fun too, to get that close connection with the audience.
For sure, yeah. It must have been tough, like for a lot of musicians during COVID.
Yes, yeah, that always is tough when you kind of feel as though you're on your own and very isolated from everyone. Yes, absolutely.
So what type of venues have you performed at?
So here in so I'm in the South Island, in New Zealand. We hire out a lot of venues, as in big theatres and places like that. So we, for many years, like a lot of us, we perform at bars and clubs and things. But now we're fortunate enough to be able to hire these larger venues, which have been lovely. Great stages and beautiful places to play at. Yeah.
Right. How did you find the other people to perform with?
So what I tend to do is a lot of times I've just been in the business for a while now, just close friends and things like that, and friends of friends. But Facebook, of course, as we know, is awesome because we can list that we're looking for certain members of a band and so on. So, yeah.
For sure, yeah. So tell me about some of the songs that you've written, other than, of course, that Paint the Sky Blue.
So a number about we just released album number 8, in fact, and then of course we never stop recording because we just so enjoy that whole songwriting process. We've been fortunate enough to have quite a few of our songs played on radio stations, etc., which has been a really good feeling. Of course, it's nice to reach a larger audience. So yeah, so the songwriter, I generally write the songs of the band, and what I love though is I give the basic of the idea, so the story, the structure to the bands, and instead of me telling them what I would like them to do, because they're all blues players as well and we tend to write blues, I love being able to just give it to them. Funny though, because they always say, Ryan, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to do this? Well, I don't like that. I prefer them to kind of put their own feeling and emotion on it, which has been great.
Right, yeah, for sure. Now, are you guys high energy when you're on stage?
Yes, I really believe in a show. I've always been one to say, my band always hear me saying to them that it's always about, it's not just the music. But I personally see a show. I like to see a show. I like it to be entertaining. So we have a lovely projection image behind us that that a lot of fans really enjoy and things like that. So yeah, being blues, we kind of go from high to low. So we do that kind of mixture of slow songs and fast. But we tend to say yes. We come launching out onto the stage for our first song. That's our big thing, absolutely.
Right, yeah. Have you ever performed anywhere other than in New Zealand?
Yes, so I've been really fortunate enough to be able to perform in America. So I've done that a couple of times now. So I go once a year. Sometimes my band comes with me, but I have a really good band over there that I connect with once I'm there. So always look for, haven't been for a wee while just due to the whole COVID. Yes. Unfortunately, it's been amazing to be able to go and perform overseas.
Well, if you ever come to British Columbia, Canada, let me know.
I would love to. I would love to come say hi. Absolutely.
That would be fun. Yeah. The one thing about meeting people on Zoom is I don't often get to meet them in person, so that would be so cool for sure. Now you talk about some of your sense of humor while on stage. You said a typical European sense of humor. I'm not sure what that means.
So we always have, funny sort of jokes and things like that. And of course, we tend to, like, depending on which town that we go to, we tend to kind of pick on a subject that's quite funny to them. In New Zealand, we're famous for sheep, right? So of course we
say that again.
In New Zealand, we tend to be famous for sheep. So we have lots of farmyard. Yeah, it's something that New Zealand is very famous for. We have a lot of sheep. Okay. So we jokes of all different, depending on the town that we go to.
Right. Yeah. Have you ever considered doing anything other than music?
That's a very good question. It's, you know what? I don't think I've ever sat down and thought about it. And that said, since leaving school, all my life has just been music. I teach music as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love to teach any subject. I just love to share something that I've enjoyed in my life. So I think, to be honest, put on the spot like that, I've never thought about that question.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I was just thinking about it, because most people, I think, if you have a talent, like I always think that if you don't use it, somehow you're dissatisfied,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. It's funny though, I haven't really sat down and thought about it, but yeah, I really enjoy lots of things. Actually, I have friends that do run their own companies and businesses, and the odd time you do kind of think, what would I do if I wasn't able to perform?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you come from a musical family at all?
No, we've managed to trace a few members back, but in saying that though, I do have a couple of yeah, cousins that I perform with, but no, not really, not like I picked it up from mother or father, but yeah, there has been members of the family for sure.
Right. Now, do you have your own family?
Yes, I do. That's yes, I'm living, and my wife and I, and of course my wife has children, so I don't have children of my own. But yes, we certainly have a loving family that we enjoy getting together for sure.
Very nice. Yeah. Do you think the children are going to be performers?
Probably not. Sadly, probably not. They seem to be a wee bit shy for that sort of a thing.
Yeah. Right. Well, sometimes you come out of it. You know, I was just thinking about performing is a good way to. Well, you don't overcome your shyness. How do you explain that to somebody, right? Like I'm social, and I have social anxiety, but I can do this. So I'm wondering if, like you, when you're not on stage, when you're not performing, what are you like with outside of that?
That's a very, very good point. And many people I speak to about that say the same thing as you just mentioned. And I feel exactly the same way. As strange as a lot of people may find this, I feel a lot more relaxed on a stage in front of people, far more than in a group or even with friends that I really like. You know, I sometimes fall over my words a wee bit nervous and things. So it is quite interesting how that affects us. Yeah.
I think we are introverted extroverts or something like that. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know which way it goes. So now I imagine your albums are on the usual places like Spotify, and I always forget the names of where you find music. Other musicians know. I always forget for some reason.
Yes, that's correct. And again, there's so many stores these days online. So yes, I think if I'm correct, my record label put it on about 12 digital stores. So I think there's about 12 of them. Yes.
Wow, very good. Now remind me again the name of your band, because when you sent me the bio, you put the Ryan Neville Show Band, so I didn't know the other name.
Yeah. So we're actually Ryan Neville and the Midnight Blues Band. Is
Midnight Blues. Oh, it is up here at the top. My apologies. I got to read everything, people. So people can, if they did, like, do you have a website, by the way?
Yes, and that is just called Ryan Neville's Show Band. Yeah.
And of course, you're up on YouTube and Twitter, all of those places.
Yes, it takes a lot of time to manage all that these days, doesn't it? The whole promotion thing on, big deal, isn't it? So we certainly are as far spread as we can be.
Now, you said you teach. Do any other band members do any teaching?
Yes, so Sandy Wilson in our band, she teaches at schools and she's our keyboard player. And so we have a school here called the School of Music and Jazz School, and she's taught and performed and teaches from home in that now herself. And drummer Nick, he tends to have a couple of students and things. So yeah, we all tend to kind of share the same background and things, I guess.
Do you ever perform any other musicians' work?
Yes, so we tend to play about 70% of our own music and 30% of cover music, but we do it in our own way. Yes.
What do you have coming up? Anything?
So we are lucky enough to be performing at Jazz Fest, which is south of Christchurch, of where we live. And that's in about 2 weeks' time, and it's a once-a-year event. And it's just anytime you get together with other musicians and bands and creative people, it's always a fun time. So it's over a long weekend, and we would just look forward to that one every single year.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds great. I really think it sounds great. I would just encourage the audience to look it up. Go on Facebook or YouTube, and it's Ryan Neville and the Midnight Blues Band. I know some blues performers here in Chilliwack, so that's, by the way, that's the city I live in, just in case you want to know that. And you're in Christchurch, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Yes. Now I can't remember if I mentioned everything. You have Steel Personalities, and you hammer out original. Oh, there was somewhere. Where was that? Original fusion of blues. There was some word I was going to ask you about. Now I can't remember. where is it? Flawless reeling of the guitar and anarchists. Is that what I'm reading that right? Of a normal way performing act.
Yeah, so we tend to, that goes back to the show thing. We tend to kind of have an interesting show. I tend, again, being a Jimi Hendrix fan, I tend to play the guitar with my teeth and kind of do a Hendrix kind of show for a part of the show. Yeah.
No, for sure. Okay. And let's see, we've touched your humor, and it seems to me that from what I'm reading, that your audiences really respond to your music, right?
Yes, and that again, like to see live shows and like to get the crowd into it. So we always do a nice acoustic set, and we force the crowd to sing songs back to us and things like that. We threaten at the start of the night that they will be singing, but by the time the show is finished, and so we like to get them involved. Yes,
that's so cool. Well, I think we'll end it there. Just stay on camera. So I just reminded everybody you've been listening to Ryan Neville, the Midnight Blues Band from Christchurch, New Zealand, and so it's a real privilege for me to get to speak to him. And I want to thank you all for watching the show, and I hope you continue to do so. Take care, everybody, and peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.